and it's backwards.
Oh, yes. Is that normal?
Yeah.
So they see us.
On YouTube, it's like we're on the backside. We're looking at the audience through it, and it's like weird.
This is so much fun. And I love the music. They're responding.
Oh, we have 2 viewers.
Great.
Whoops, we're back down to 1. Somebody didn't like it.
Somebody did not like it. Maria is writing.
Yeah. Maria.
Maria, come on.
Nina?
Nina.
Nina.
Yeah.
Nina.
Nina. Write it down, yeah.
N-A.
N-E-N-A. So you don't forget who she is. I might as well have my Galaxy Note handy in case something comes to my mind and I want to write it down.
Well, we're going to talk about the thing Saturday.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
let's.
I'll maybe remember.
Okay. Yes, so it's
That's really cool. Does that turn it into typed?
Yeah, it can if you tell them. I don't know how to do it, but it's possible. You've never done it? But it doesn't. I write whenever I'm at a church, I write all the sermon. Otherwise, I can't focus. It's too much.
Too much?
Yeah, I can't stand still for that long. So I write it.
And that helps you keep
Oh, yeah.
I hear you.
And then this thing turns it into a PDF. And you can share it. You can do whatever.
Yeah. I was meant to turn this on. I always start a little bit, just in case the audience wants to go.
Well, 100% more of people are watching.
It's like one time a family joined, they came to the church and then they joined, and they had 4 children, and we only had like 3 of them. So somebody asked me how it was going. I said, well, we're just
You're being so efficient.
their eyes get real big.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
Well, it happened to me once with facilitators at a meeting. Instead of 6, I had 12. Something like that.
Yeah, when they do this with the for eCam Live, they like pretend like they see you coming in.
But you are so good at producing stuff. It's like videos and images and the technology that goes with it. Not anybody.
I like it.
That's why it flows.
Watch me have to burp. Well, everybody, we just had a big Italian meal, and so
I'm sorry.
she tried to give me breath mints, but the garlic is going to get her by the end of this.
You're so funny.
Oh, here too, I can chat with the audience. It'll come up.
That is so cool how it comes together.
So in 20 seconds, basically.
Okay. What else?
Not that it really matters at this point with one person.
But people watch it afterwards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Well, hi, everybody. We're glad that everybody's here this evening. All of you are here to be with us. Hey, I have a special guest with me. Some of you might know who this is.
Hi, everyone.
Samantha and I are actually in the same place at the same time.
Amazing.
Yeah, Samantha's here at my house. We just had a huge Italian dinner.
That was delicious.
Yeah, that was delicious. She tried to give me, I didn't think I was going to say this, but she tried to give me some breath mints before in the restaurant. And I told her, no, I needed to savor the food. Of course, the garlic may kill her before this is over. So
you actually said it.
I actually said it, didn't I? Everybody and their brother now knows.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, well, we're glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's super to have you.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here at your house and just be able to share this time with you and Donna.
Yeah, she's in my little streaming live studio in the basement. So, yep.
Yeah.
So, but we don't really have it all planned. We don't have our little list of people or things we're going to talk about and everything. But the reason Sam is here in Omaha is because this Sunday we have a big fundraising event for Fresh Hope, and it's actually called Top Golf. And she came up. But you've actually been in New York with your family, right?
Yes, I spent 10 days in New York with my family, and we hadn't taken vacations for, I can't remember for how long. So we really did have fun. And then they flew back to El Salvador, and I flew here because I really want to be at the Top Golf event.
Yeah. Well, do you golf?
I have in Kitty's playgrounds.
Oh, okay. Well, you're going to have fun because you hit these golf balls. That's all you do is whack away at the golf balls.
I think I'm good. I play tennis. Is that anything similar?
Well, I'm sure you're better at it than I am. With my tummy, it's hard to see the ball and hit it at the same time. But yeah, well, look at there. We're getting a bigger audience all along.
Yes. Hi, everybody. We're glad you're watching. We're glad you're with us.
Those of you who are Spanish speakers, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo está? Muy bien. Now that's it. That's all you're going to get from me.
Very good. Very good.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen on Saturday.
Awesome.
That everybody's welcome to join us on Saturday. But tell us what they'll need to do. Tell us what it is and then what they'll need to do.
Well, we're really excited to have the first ever International Online Facilitator Summit. It's going to be this Saturday, April the 30th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is Nebraska time. So for those of you who are in El Salvador, it would be from 8 a.m. to 11. And what we are going to do is we're going to have workshops, we're going to have panels, we're going to have questions and answers with Dr. Edgar, Pastor Brad's doctor, and we're just going to introduce ministry leaders to everyone, like Fresh Hope for Pastors, Fresh Hope for just hope coaching, for example, or Mental Health Strong, Refocusing Widows, Trauma Healing, and Surviving Together. Yeah, so it's really going to be a place to connect, to know facilitators from all over the world, make new friends, and just catch up with what's going on, know more of what you can do, just get equipped as a facilitator too.
Yeah.
With new resources, new ideas, refresh.
And even if you're not a facilitator, you could attend.
Yes.
If not all of it, at least parts of it, you might want to attend.
Exactly. Especially from 9 to 10. It's been planned so that even if you're not a facilitator, you can attend and will enjoy the topics and will get a feel and a taste of what Fresh Hope has to offer. And so we're really excited. All you have to do, it's free, by the way. And all you have to do is sign up. It's just go to freshhope.us-summit 2022. And then you get to sign up and you'll get all the info by email.
So give us that. I'll put it here in the chat box if you want to give us. It's www what?
At freshhope.us. That's kind of cool. -summit. And then a little dash like that in 2022. Mhm.
All right. It's in the chat box and you can find it there, copy the link, and you can sign up and join us on Saturday. It's not too late.
Yeah,
Um, we have over a
over a
hundred or
hundred. Yeah, well over a hundred. Last time I looked was 135.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're hoping to.
Wonderful. And you're going to get to meet like some of our latest international ambassadors, like our ambassador from Hong Kong in China, and
Yes,
our ambassador from India,
yes.
and our international ambassadors from
Zimbabwe
Zimbabwe
and Japan.
and Japan.
Yes,
Yeah,
it.
that's something. So you'll get to these people are they're real people with names and faces, and you'll get to hear them give a little greeting to the whole group. And
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to be broadcasting out of the Fresh Hope Ministry Center. And so we're excited and looking forward to you guys joining us and being a part of that. So, a couple of things, Sam, we've been talking about on this program, we've
Mhm.
been talking about the whole issue of emotional regulation
Oh
and
yeah.
regulating our emotions and our feelings and not living by them, so to speak.
Mhm.
Just curious if you've ever had any struggles with your emotions
Oh
or your,
yeah.
um, you know, talk to
Yes.
us about that, like before and
Exactly.
since, maybe.
Yes. Well, before have been diagnosed, my feelings kind of ruled a lot of my life. They were very unpredictable. They were very intense. I could feel like elevated to I don't know how many times. It was really intense. Either it be anger or sadness or just like a nostalgic taste of a feeling. Um, it was really very intense to deal with. And after medication, after I was diagnosed and got into the right medication, it was all I started to be able to feel, but in a healthy manner, like just to acknowledge the feeling. And but it was not as intense, it wouldn't control me, so to
Yeah,
say.
I think for those of us who have bipolar disorder, what happens many times is exactly that, that the feelings are so intense prior to being treated for the bipolar disorder.
Mhm.
Plus, our impulses are so great that
Yeah.
we get triggered easily and we fire off.
Oh
And
yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like since I've been medicated, I have two children. I have Denise and Gabrielle, and ever since I'm on medication, I seldomly get angry. And they're kids, they do things. It's not like I don't teach them how to respect things or tell them
sure,
right from
sure.
wrong.
You parent.
But I
Yeah.
parent, but without the anger element. And it's been liberating to me to be able to recognize it and deal with it in a healthy way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, last week, folks, we talked about the difference between our emotions versus feelings. And, it's a really hard. I talked to a therapist this last week. We're friends and we happened to be at a meeting together. And I was saying that we were distinguishing between the two. And she looked at me, she goes, "Oh, wow, I've never even really gone there with folks."
Yeah.
And the bottom line is that emotions are pretty intuitive. They're the way we're wired. They're part of our personality type
Mhm.
to a certain degree. But also learning how to regulate our initial response.
Mhm.
And then feelings have more to do with what comes after that. As and it could be just seconds after it, but
Mhm.
feelings live longer than our emotions.
Oh.
We might be angry, and then the Bible says, "Don't be angry and sin not." Don't
Mhm.
sin and be angry. Well, that's where maybe the feelings get to be like, "I'm not going to forgive her. She did such and thus to me," and
Oh.
that kind of thing. And so we looked at that feelings wheel, you might recall. And, my question to you this evening is, are there any feelings that you've had in the past that really kind of have gotten you in trouble? And where you've really struggled to let go of the feelings? And if so, what are those feelings?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything in particular?
Yeah, well, maybe a feeling of frustration once got a hold of me where I couldn't get over it. It got me in trouble in the sense that it got me stuck in a place where I could not accept what had happened and the way it had happened, and then it stopped me from leaving.
Yeah.
It stopped me from being able to just,
To move forward.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was
Uh,
hard
uh,
a couple of
I
years ago.
think when we get stuck, many times is when we're stuck in our emotions
Hmm.
and kind of rehearsing the emotions over and over. And it can really cause a lot of problems for us.
Yes,
And that's not just for people with a mental health diagnosis, it's for anybody, really.
exactly.
We all struggle with those things that just and so often it's rooted in unforgiveness. So often it can easily be rooted in offense, that we take offense to something and we can't let go of the offense.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
of course.
And
Sorry.
then we can struggle, in
Yeah,
ways that, we don't want to struggle, but we struggle, right?
we do. And
Yeah.
what about other types of feelings, Pastor Brad? For example, when I was single, I had this strong feelings of attachment to a person that was not healthy.
Hmm.
But the feelings were so strong that they kept me from making the best decisions. Like,
Yeah. To get away from the person, to
yes,
detach from them. Hmm.
yes, that's another place where feelings can get you into in a
Hmm.
difficult or dangerous
Hmm.
place, right?
Oh, yeah, because many times we hang on to people that are not good for us, situations that are not good for us, and our feelings. Well, for instance, sometimes we stay because we think, well, who knows what it's going to be like if I end this?
Uh-huh.
It could be worse, or I'm going to feel
Mhm.
this way, or I'm going to feel that way, instead of making a logical decision that
Exactly.
says, this is what's best.
Exactly.
you,
Just
you
just
probably
wait.
stayed in a situation that you probably wouldn't have let your best friend stay in. You would have
Exactly.
seen it.
Exactly. But I couldn't make that decision because I was sort of like blinded by emotions, by feelings, and then yeah,
Yep.
it was.
Yeah. Sometimes emotions and feelings play together too. But also, there's times I think where our emotion is one thing,
Uh,
and so we react and we control it, and we might end up playing nice. And really, on the outside, it looks like we really controlled it and everything. But in the inside, we are, just
mhm.
as irritated as can be.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that holds us too.
Yes.
So, what have you found besides the medicine
Uh-huh.
to be really helpful in being as healthy as you can be with both your emotions and your feelings?
Well, to me, it's been journaling. Like, just it helps me identify what I'm
Healthy
feeling.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, journaling. It's been really useful to me, and I usually uh, it's hard for me to concentrate in prayer without writing. So when I write to the Lord. So you could even talk about a lament here,
Yeah.
I guess,
Yep.
where you could deal and process your feelings by writing a letter to the Lord, just even a short thing, but
Absolutely.
it helps you realize what you're feeling because sometimes we don't even put a name on it.
Yes. I think that's almost number one, don't you?
Yes,
It's almost, if you're going to deal with your feelings, you have to pause long enough to say, okay, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling.
yes,
This is coming from a point of why or
yes.
whatever. Kind of work at identifying it.
Identifying it, yeah, knowing what it is, if
They,
it's loneliness or if it's
yeah,
frustration or whatever it
yeah.
is.
It's kind of like every time I've gone on a diet, people say that, when you're, I always talk about food.
Okay,
Sooner or
yeah,
later,
I'm
I'm going
really,
to talk about food. Yeah. Um,
I'm laughing because it's the same with me. You don't think
yeah.
that it's I'm laughing.
Yeah.
I'm laughing
Well, they
about you.
always say, for instance, that many of us eat when in fact we're thirsty.
Oh,
You know,
yes,
what
I've
we
heard
really
that.
need is water or to hydrate
Uh-huh.
and not,
To eat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's that way with our feelings. Sometimes we react and we think, but we've misidentified or we've even not bothered to identify what we're feeling.
Yes.
And
We just pray
we,
it.
yeah, we just kind of think. Um, I don't know if you've ever had one of those times where you're feeling blue or almost homesick.
Uh-huh.
And I find that to be one of the most curious feelings for myself because what is it? Is that longing for heaven? Is that, am
Oh.
I missing somebody? Am I lonely?
Mm-hmm.
And to
Mm-hmm.
really, and sometimes even to think about the feelings, to think them through helps me to kind of let go of those feelings or
Yeah.
to embrace them.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's other times though where we also have times where we don't want to feel what we're feeling, so we try to shut it off,
Uh-huh.
or we cover it with food
Yes.
or alcohol, or some people might use other addictive things to cover it, and
That's so
usually
true.
not in healthy ways.
Yes.
And the feelings don't go away, they just get buried deeper and deeper. They might get more and more difficult to even identify.
Yes.
And sometimes feelings turn into resentment, they turn into anger, bitterness, all those kinds of things where, if you and I can get to our healthy spots of really dealing with our feelings when we're feeling them,
Uh-huh.
dealing with them so they don't deal with us, working through them so that they don't work us over, so to
Oh,
speak.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So we need to learn to pay attention to what
Yep.
we're feeling,
Yep.
and because sometimes the easiest thing is to
Oh,
ignore
yeah.
them or just cover
Yeah.
up for them. Yeah.
Yeah. And to, I think it's important every day. And I think this is what you're talking about with blog or writing. It's the idea that what we need to do is, my dog is here saying hello to Sam.
It's
Um,
crazy.
but one of the things that we need to do, like I try to do it at least once a day, if not several times a day. How am I feeling? What am I, what emotions are there? How might I uh, change how I feel by how I'm looking at life or whatever? I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but sometimes out of the blue, I will get a little edge of anxiety going,
Uh-huh.
and
Yes.
I can't figure out why.
Why?
Where'd that come from? Well, many times it has more to do with, okay, if I'm honest, I'm anxious about this,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm feeling, or really subconsciously, I'm worried about this, or
Yes.
whatever. And I'm not consciously thinking about it, but subconsciously it's there.
I
And
like what you say about asking yourself at least once a day, how am I? It's like a personal check-in,
it
like
is,
when
it
doing the
is.
groups.
Yep.
It's wonderful when I learned that dynamic in the Fresh Hope groups, support groups, that for those of us who haven't attended a support group, maybe when you do your check-in, you say your name, your diagnosis, if you have one, or if you're a loved one, and then you say your mood, where your mood is on a scale from 1 to 5, and then your clarity of thinking, and then your hope tank, on a scale from 1 to 5, basically. And so when by going to a Fresh Hope group and doing that every week, I became better at knowing, oh, okay, how is my hope tank?
Yeah.
Where is my mood today? It's
Yeah.
it's a you actually learn to identify the clarity of thinking. It's actually different. You don't think of that before doing a check-in.
Right. Right.
It's very healthy.
And for me, for years, I would get really mad, you know,
Mm.
even after I was diagnosed, I would get upset, and then I'd have to say to myself, well, why did I get so upset? And so I would wait so long to think about how I really was feeling. So I just kind of started doing that at least once a day, if not twice, usually sometime around noon or shortly after. And then usually when I go to bed in the evening, it doesn't take me long. And in fact, if you're not aware of this, you may not know that on the app, on the Fresh Hope app, if you download it from your store and it's free, on the app, there's actually a
mood tracker.
Mood tracker.
Yes,
and that's why it's there, because sometimes we end up in a mood, a bad mood, or our mood really goes down quickly. And, it helps us to remember, okay, wait a minute. No wonder my mood went down. This happened last week and the mood is catching up.
Yes.
And mood is different than your emotions or your feelings. Your emotions, the initial, your feelings are then what that come about from how you think about what happened, how you reacted based upon what happened. And if those feelings are bad, your mood is going to change sooner or later. So your mood is the overarching thing. And it's kind of like she lives in a tropical area. And so if her mood if El Salvador's mood changed, they would end up with some snow in the winter. Do you see what I'm saying? So the climate is like mood. It's pretty predictable within it. In Nebraska, she's finding out that in the Midwest, the weather can go all over the place.
It's not predictable.
So our weather, they joke about that it is bipolar. It needs some mood stabilizer. But yeah, our weather's much more drastic, more changes. She was marveling at the fact that the temperature can change by 20 or 30 degrees from morning to evening.
Or within 2 hours, it changed 20 degrees on Sunday evening. I was like, what?
Yeah. So, but for some people, they allow those feelings to just take them to a bad place. And within a very short time, their mood changes.
Yes.
And then there's other people, I think, that mistake their feelings to be their mood. And I see that a lot where in group, people will say, oh, my mood's a 1. Okay. Do you know why? Have you ever thought about why? Do you think that just your brain chemistry just changed? Or did something happen? Or have you been thinking about something? Or have you been worried about something? And so often, more times than not, I think a lot of folks think that their mood just went south when in fact their dog died that day and it would be normal. That's not a mood disorder issue. That's just being a human being, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna be frustrated or you're gonna be sad.
Yes.
So if you're using this in your group, talk amongst yourselves. We've given you some insights on these 3 things. And if you're going to be around and available on Saturday, sign in, join us for the summit.
Yes.
We'd love to have you there. And it's going to be fun. You're going to get to meet people from all over the world. And there'll be other languages involved and some excellent workshops. I wish I could go to all of them. And so anyway, and Sam's put all that together. And so anyway, listen, God bless you guys. And thanks so much, Sam, for being here tonight.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah, it'll probably be another good 6 months before we can do this again. But we will. We will. And even if we have to do it from 2 different places, we can do it.
Awesome. Okay,
all right.
We'll figure it out.
God bless everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.
Bye,
next
Sam.
week.
Yeah.